Hello viewers, welcome back to Godfrey Mumbi Academy. So today we are going to go through Mathematics Paper 1 2018 GCE. So we will answer the full paper, the entire paper from question 1 to 23. So you should follow me along as I'll be answering. And also don't forget to subscribe and like and also share the video. Alright, let's get started. So this is our question 1. So the first question says simplify 4 open brackets x plus 2y close brackets, then it says minus in brackets 3x minus 8y. Okay, so this is our question. So it is 4x plus 2y, then minus 3x minus 8, not like this. So minus 3x minus 8y, then close brackets. Okay, this is the question. So when you are taught to simplify, you are taught to make the equation simple. So how do you do that? So you first of all get rid of the brackets. You remove these brackets. How do you remove the brackets? By multiplying whatever is outside with everything that is inside. So we'll say 4 multiplied by x, we're going to get 4x. Then we'll say 4 multiplied by 2y, it's gonna be positive 8y. Then we'll say negative times 3x, this will give us minus 3x. Then we'll say negative multiplied by negative 8. So negative times negative is positive. So we'll have positive 8y. Then from here we can collect the like terms. So we'll say 4x minus 3x because they both have x. Then we say plus 8y plus this 8y is this plus this one 8y. Then we'll say 4x minus 3x, this is same as 4 minus 3, so we are going to have x. Then plus 8y plus 8y, this will give us 16y. So this is our first answer. I hope you've gotten that one. Then question 2 says evaluate 27 to the power 2 over 3. So whenever we are evaluating, evaluate basically means find the value of. So we need to find the value of this. So when you see it like this, we introduce the cube root because this is from indices. So that's the rule. When we introduce the cube root, this base 27 always comes here. And when you consider the power, we have 2 over 3. So the 3 is the denominator, the 2 is on top, the numerator. So the denominator, the one at on the bottom, we write it here. Then we put everything in brackets. This numerator power comes outside the brackets. Okay, then we say this means we need to find the cube root of 27. A cube root is a number that you can multiply 3 times to give you this number. So 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So the cube root of 27 is 3. Then we keep this power. Okay. Then 3 to the power 2. 3 to the power 2 is what? So 3 to the power 2 is 9. So this is our answer. So your answers need to be written here. That's why you are supposed to be writing them. Okay, then question 3 says a straight line passing through A 3,2 and B 5,y has gradient -2. Then it says find the value of y. Okay, so they want us to find the value of y. So this concept has to do with gradient because they've given us the gradient -2. So gradient is represented by m. So our gradient, capital letter M, is what? -2. They've given us in the question. So, and also we've been given the coordinates A is 3 comma 2. Then we have b, which is 5 comma y. So how do we find the gradient? Because since we've been given the gradient, we'll use the formula for gradient. So gradient, which is capital letter M, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here you name these coordinates. The first one, the first number in the, when you are writing coordinates, is always x, then the last one is y. So since this is the first value of x, this will be x1, this will be y1, then this will be x2, and this will be y2. That's how we name them. So where there is gradient, we replace with what we have, which is negative 2 is equal to y2. y2 is what? Y here. Minus y1 is 2 over x2. x2 is 5 minus x1. x1 is 3 here. x1 is 3. Okay, then from here now we can say negative 2 is equal to y minus 2 over 5 minus 3 here is 2. So we can cross multiply here. So 1 multiplied by everything here, it will be same, y minus 2 is equal to 2 multiplied by negative 2, this will be negative 4. So our y is going to be negative 4, this one. These two will cross the equal sign and come this side. So it's going to be positive 2. Therefore, our y will be negative 4 plus 2, which is negative 2. So this is the answer for y, negative 2. Okay, let's go to the next question. So the next question is question 4. So this is our next question. It says factorize completely. Then we have 5x squared minus 5. So our question is 5x squared minus 5. So they want us to factorize completely. When you want to factorize, here is what you do. First thing, you look at what is common. When you consider the first term, what is here and what is here? What number or letter is both on this term and on this term? Then you get that thing. So in this case, we have 5 here, and here we have 5. So we get 5, then we open the brackets. Then what you do is, you get the first term and divide it by that same thing that is outside the brackets. So in this case, we have 5. So we will say 5x squared divided by 5. And 5x squared divided by 5. 5 will cancel with this 5. So we will remain with x squared. So we are going to have x squared here minus. We will get negative 5 divided by 5. This will give us negative 1. Negative 1. So this will be our case. To prove that this is right, when you multiply this with this again, it should give you back this. Then from here, this is 5x squared. So here we need to now introduce difference of two squares. So you write this number in such a way that you don't change the value, but it should work with the concept of difference of two squares. In this case, since this is squared, we can say 1 squared, because 1 squared is same as 1. Okay, 1 and 1 squared is still 1. So this will give us 5 open brackets. Difference of two squares says that you get this same term, then on one part you use negative, on the other part you use positive. And since these are squared, it means there are two terms each. So this is x minus 1, then x plus 1. Okay, I just get this same term. Here I use negative, here I use positive. That's difference of two squares. And this, when you multiply, it should give you this, the one on top. So this is factorization. Just like this, we have factorized completely. The next question says, use set notation. Okay, I'm sure it's visible. Use set notation to describe the shaded region in the Venn diagram below. So they want us to use what? Set notation to describe the shaded region in the Venn diagram below. All right, so now here these are sets, and what you need to know is we have symbols like the universal and the intersection. So we use this universal symbol when we are adding or we are collectively putting things together. So for example, if I'm putting things in A, or when I'm getting the entire set A and the entire set B, I would say A union B. This union means you are getting everything. You are using the entire set, this and this. When you use this, it means you are getting something that is only present in A, at the same time present in B. So when I say A intersection B, I mean this region, because this region is where A is, but at the same time B also. Okay, so this region is bounded by set B and set A at the same time, meaning the elements here will be present in both A and B. And this is what? This is where we use intersection. So in this case, they want us to describe this. So when you look at this well, you will see that A is shaded, then also B is shaded. So it's like A is, they've shaded the entire part of A and also the entire part of B, but they've excluded C. Wherever C is, that part is not shaded, meaning C is the exclusion here. Okay, and since C is the exclusion, meaning it is not part of this entire shading. So whenever we are describing that, we use the complement. Okay, we use the complement to mean that part should not be included. So this, when we want to describe it, it will be A union B, because we are shading A, we are also shading B. But we need to say intersection C complement, because there is C which is not what? Which is not included. And I said we use this complement to mean this should not be what? Should not be part of this. So A union B intersection C, this is our C complement, meaning C should not be what? Should not be shaded. And that's what is happening here. So this is it for this question. Then let's go to the next question. So here is our next question. It says, given that C is equal to, we've been given this matrix, and D is equal to this matrix, express CD as a single matrix. So they want us to express C and D as a single matrix. So what you do is, first we say our C is, we have 5, we have 2. Then we have -1 and +1. Then we also have our D, which is 1 and -2. So they want us to express CD. And by CD, it means we are multiplying, because between C and D there is nothing here. So this is the multiplication of matrix. And whenever we are multiplying matrix, we multiply row by column. That's the method, and you should know that. What that means is we get the first row of the first matrix and multiply it with the first column. So the rows are these. This is the first row, this is the second row. Rows are in the horizontal section. Columns are in the vertical section. So this is the first row. The first row will multiply with the first column. And in this case, we only have one column. Okay, so this row will multiply with this first column. Then we come to the second row, it multiplies with the with the first column here. So here is how we do it. So our CD is going to be, we will say This first term will go with the first term, the second with the second. 5 multiplied by 1. So we will have 5 multiplied by 1 here in brackets. Then we say plus negative 1. Now we go to the second term multiplied by the second term negative 2 here. So plus negative 1 times negative 2. Okay. Then it's like this. Then we come to the second row. So 2 will go with the first, 1 will go with the second. So this is 2 multiplied by 1. So this will be 2 multiplied by 1 plus. Then this will be 1 times negative 2. So we will have 1 times negative 2. So our CD will be 2 times 1. 5 times 1. That is positive 5. Then plus, this is negative 1 times negative 2. That is positive 2. Okay. Then 2 multiplied by 1. That is 2. Then we say this is plus 1 times negative 2. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So this is plus 1 times negative 2, because this is positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 2 here. The entire stuff is giving us negative 2. So it will give us negative 2 still. So in short, here it will be minus 2. This one, 1 times negative 2 minus 2. Okay. So this will finally give us 5 plus 2, that is 7. 2 minus 2, that is 0. So this is our CD. We've expressed it as a single matrix. All right, let's go to the next. So the next says, the first 3 terms in an arithmetic progression are 5, 7, and 9. Find A, the common difference, and B, sum of the first 12 terms. So one thing that you need to know, here we deal with, I think about 3 or 4 formulas. First, D, small letter D, which is the common difference, the one they are asking. D is always term 2 minus term 1, or term 3 minus term 2, or term, you just keep on going. Maybe you can say term 8 minus term 7. So it is always, when you say the term, minus the previous term. So since this is term 2, I need to say minus term 1. If I have been given so many terms, I can still use term 3 minus term 2. The answer will be same. This is for arithmetic progression, which only comes in paper 1. Because in paper 2, we have geometric progression as well. So, this is the first formula. The second formula is the one we use to calculate the number of terms. Tn is equal to, so the number of terms is equal to A plus, open brackets, n minus 1 d, where n is the number of term, A is the first term. Okay, A is the first term. You should know that. So in this case, our first term is 5. So this is our A. Plus n, I said, is the number of terms. Then d is what? Is the common difference, the same one. Then you also need to know sum of the number of terms is equal to n over 2, open square brackets, 2a plus, open brackets, n minus 1 d. These formulas, they will not give you, so you need to know them. That is quite profound. So let's answer the question now. They want us to find the common difference for the first question. So how is our common difference going to be? Well, we'll say d is equal to term 2 minus term 1. So d is equal to, what is our term 2? So the terms we have 5, 7, and 9. So our term 2 is 7. Minus our first term, term 1 is 5. So our d is going to be 7 minus 5, which is what? Which is 2. This is it for A. When we come to B, they want us to find sum of the first 12 terms. So sum, this is the formula I gave you. So sum, S of where there is n, we replace with, we substitute with 12, is equal to n is 12 divided by 2. Then this is 2. What is our a? The first term is 5. Okay, plus, open brackets, our n is 12 minus 1. Our d, we found 2. Meaning if your d is wrong, even this one will be wrong. So this will be 12 divided by 2, which is 6. And we'll open the brackets. This is 2 times 5, which is 10. Then plus 12 minus 1 is 11. Multiplied by these 2, it will give us 22. So summation of the first 12 terms is equal to, this is 6, and we have 10 plus 22. This is 32. Okay, so what are we going to say now? We will say 32 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 6. So 32 multiplied by 6, that is 192. And this will be the summation of the first 12 terms. Okay, so this is it. We go to the next. So the next question says, question 8, in a game, the probability of a player losing is 0.3. What is the probability of a player winning the game? So this is probability. So we've been given the probability of this player losing the game, and they've said that probability is 0.3. What is the probability of him winning? So one concept you need to know is probability is always equal to 1. So when you are given two options, so because probability is the likelihood of something, the possibility of something happening. So when you are given two conditions, when you add those two conditions, the probability should not exceed 1. It's always equal to 1. So in this case, we've been given the probability of the player losing. So what we will say is, we will say probability of this player winning, okay, plus probability of this player losing is equal to 1. Yeah, so we can simplify this as PW for winning and PL for losing is equal to 1. Since they want the probability of the player winning, we will say probability of the player winning is equal to 1. Then we get this probability of the player losing to the other side. So since here it's positive, when it crosses the other side, it becomes minus PL. So the probability of this player winning is equal to 1 minus, what is the probability of the player losing? So we've been given to say it is 0.3. So we'll substitute this with 0.3. So the probability of this player winning is actually 1 minus 0.3, which is 0.7. So this is the what? The final answer. Then for B, it says the coordinates of B and C are, we have this and this respectively. Then it says if M is the midpoint, if M is the midpoint of BC, what is the position vector of M? Well, so in this case we have two coordinates. We have B, so our B is 2, 5, and our C is 4, -3. Okay, those are our coordinates. Then they say between this B and C we have the midpoint M. So M is the midpoint of B and what? C. Then they ask what is the position vector of M. So the concept is simple. You cannot know the position vector of M if you don't know the coordinates of M. So the first thing, so this was our M, this is our B now. So the first thing that you need to know is the coordinates. What are the coordinates of this M? If we know the coordinates, we can easily know the what? The position vector. So, for us to know the coordinates, we use the concept we've been given to say this is the midpoint. So M is the midpoint of B and C. So if we find the midpoint of B and C, it means we've found M. After we found M, we found the coordinates. It is easy now to go on and solve the what? The position vector. So firstly, let's solve the coordinates. So we use the formula for the midpoint. So midpoint is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. This is the formula for the midpoint. And like I said in that first question, we'll use the same concept. So we'll name these coordinates. This one, the first one will be our x1. The second one will be our y1. This one will be our x2. And the last one will be our y2. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Then we can replace now our midpoint is going to be here on x1 we have 2 plus on x2 we have 4 over 2, comma, y1 we have 5 here plus y2 we have negative 3. So we put it in brackets since it's negative, over 2. So this is going to be 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay? 2 plus 4 is what? Is 6. 6 divided by 2. That is what? That is 3. Comma. Then we have here, this is 5 plus minus negative 3. So to get rid of the brackets, we multiply positive times negative. So positive times negative is negative. So we have 5 minus 3. And what is 5 minus 3? 5 minus 3 is 2. So we have 2 on top, divide by these 2. That will give us 1. Because 2 by 2 is what? Is 1. So here we have our 1. So this is our midpoint, M. These are the coordinates. Now, the question is asking us to find the position vector of M. So we need now to find the position vector since we know the coordinates. So if you are finding the position vector, the concept is simple. You simply convert the row into the column, the rows into the column. That's all. Meaning the position vector of M will be, we'll convert this into the column. 3, 1 will come down here. Because this is the row, this is the column. The rows are what? Horizontal. The columns are what? Vertically. So when we convert this row into the column, it becomes vertical. That is the position vector of M. I hope you get that concept. So this is it for this question. All right, let's go to the next question. So for the next question, we have given that universal is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and B is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. List A union B complement. All right, so what do you do here? This is simple. You need to know that under this topic, we always refer to the universal. The universal is more like our reference. So whatever the question, we will be referring to the universal. So we have our universal set as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have our A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. And our B is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then they want us to list A union B complement. So I explained something similar to this. I said A union B means we get the entire set A, we put it together with set B. So we get set S and set B collectively. In short, we add them, we put them together. When we make this set, now they've been put together and there's the complement. What did I explain about the complement? The complement means this should not be included. Okay, if I, like the last example we dealt with on the sets, it was C complement, meaning C should not be included. So here, since it is A union B complement, it means this should not be what? Should not be included. That's what it means. So if we find A union B, it means we are not going to include it. So we will do that by referring to the what? To the universal set. All right. So let's find A union B. So A union B is, so what is our A? This is our A, 1, 2, 3, 4, comma. So this is our A. Union B, it means we put together B also. So this is our B. It is starting from 2, but 2 we've already written, 3 we've already written, 4 we've already written, so we start from 5 and 6. So this is our A union B. You've gotten it. So we just take A and B, we put them together. This is our A union B. But this as a complement, meaning this should not be what? Included. A union B, this should not be included. That's what the complement means. So we will have A union B complement equal to, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A union B should not be included. So we will refer to the original, the universal. So from 1 to 6 should not be included because that's A union B. We'll remain with 7 and 8. So we are going to have 7, 8. So this is our A union B complement. I hope you understand that. Now we come to this one. So this other one says the scale of a map is 1 to 20,000. The actual area of residential plots is 60 square kilometers. Calculate the area of residential plots on the map in square centimeters. So for B, maybe I can do this, yeah, because of space. So for B, we've been given the scale 1 to 20,000, and the actual area. So this is the scale and this is the area. These are two different things. So this is the ratio of the what? Of the scale that we've been given, 1 to 20,000. Meaning on the scale where they use 1 centimeter, it is representing what? 20,000 centimeters. Then they also give us the actual area of these plots as 60 square kilometers. Then now they want us to calculate the area of residential plots on the map in square centimeters. So firstly, you see that they are asking us to find this area in what? Square centimeters. But the information they gave us to use is in what? Is in square kilometers. So we are dealing with two different units. Meaning, for us to use this, we need to do what? To convert this into centimeters. That's the first step. So how do we convert this into centimeters? So we have 100,000 centimeters being equal to 1 kilometer. Okay, so 1 kilometer is equal to 100,000 centimeters. So since this is kilometer squared, so it is squared. So even here we must do what? Square. So 1 kilometer square will be equivalent to the square of this. And the square of this will just be, it will double. So the number of zeros will double. Since here we have 5 zeros, so it's gonna be 10 zeros. So this is equivalent to 1 square kilometer. These are centimeters. So there are these centimeters in 1 square kilometer. Okay. So if in 1 square kilometer we have these centimeters, what about the information we've been given? Because we've been given 60 kilometers, square kilometers. So if 1 square kilometer is equivalent to these centimeters, what about 60 square kilometers is equivalent to how many square centimeters? We put x here, we cross multiply. So this multiplied by this will have our x, which is equal to, so this will be yeah, this is how it's going to be. So this is in square centimeters. So we've converted this square kilometers into square centimeters. That's the only way we can use, because they want the answer in square centimeters. So firstly, you convert the information you've been given to what they want you to use to answer. So in this case, they want us to answer in square centimeters, so we convert this. Okay, so this is what 60 kilometers, 60 square kilometers is equivalent to what? To this. So this is the first step. Now the second step, we've been given the scale to say the scale is what? Is 1 to 20,000 centimeters. So since this is the scale we've been given, what are we going to say here? The scale is 1 to 20,000. And this scale, note that they are asking us to find the area. Since it is the area, and the SI unit of area is centimeters square, square centimeters. So since it is square, you have to square these units we've been given also. Okay, the scale. So if this scale was given and they asked us to find the volume, we would have cubed it, because the SI unit of volume is cube. Now since this is area they are asking, no wonder we've squared it, because the SI unit of area is squared. So this will give us 1 to, this will double, 2 multiplied by 2, it will be 4. So this will be 20 squared, it's gonna be 400. Then these zeros will double. So these are 6, 3, another 3. Yeah, so this is how it's going to be. So this is it. So we will use now this ratio. Okay, we will use this ratio together with the information we were given now to find what they need. So how is it going to be? So well, we will say, so here I don't have much space, but I will write here, but when you are writing, you don't have to write here. You have to make sure that you squeeze everything together so that it fits this space that you've been given. So now here we will say we have 1 to 40,000. 1 to 40,000 is same as 1 over 400 million, not thousand actually. This is equivalent to what? This is equivalent, now we use what we are given. So they gave us 60 square kilometers, which is equivalent to this, so we'll use this. But this, is it actual or is it on the map? Because when you look at this, the smaller one is the one on the map, the bigger one is the actual. So since the actual here is down, even here the actual should be down. Okay, so the actual area of residential plots is 60, meaning the one we've been given is the actual, and the one they want us to calculate is on the what? On the map. So on the map is the one we are calculating, so it will be on top. Then the actual, since here the actual is down, even here the actual will put it down here. So it is think it has 11 zeros, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So this is it. Now from here, what are you going to say? You simply cross multiply. So x multiplied by this will give us, so I'll write even here, this will give us 400 million. X is equal to 1 multiplied by this will give us 60. Yeah, so we divide by 400 million. Even here 400 million. Even this side we divide by 400 million. So this will cancel with this, and we are going to have our x, which is the area, the actual area. So these first 3 zeros, the last will cancel with this will cancel with this will cancel with this, so we remain with 6,000 divided by 4. So here you can simplify. 2 into 4 is 2. 2 into 6 is 3. So we remain with 3,000 divided by 2. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 30 is 15. So our answer is 1,500 square centimeters. So this is the what? This is the area on the map. I hope you get the concept. So sometimes they give bigger numbers, but you have to know how to reduce them, and you have to know how to convert them, because paper 1 doesn't have they don't allow calculators. So you need to do all this using your head. All right, let's go to the next. So we go to question 10. So this is our question 10. It says the difference in longitude between town A and town B is 105 degrees. Then it says B is west of A. So we've been given the difference in longitude 105. Then they say B is west of A. Then they say a family at A was watching a football match at 16 hours. So a family at A was watching a football match at 16 hours. At what time did a family at B watch the same match? You've gotten the question. So we have two towns, A and B, and they've given us the difference in longitudes. Then they tell us that town B is west of A. So let's break the information down so that we understand what is happening here. So what you need to know here is, this is earth geometry. Sometimes they bring the earth already drawn, then they ask you to just calculate. Sometimes they might give you something like this, then they ask you to draw, or they give you something, just the information, they ask you to figure it out. So you need to be able to answer all those styles. So the first information we extract from the what we've been given, they said B is west of A. Okay, B is west of A. This means B is on the west part of A. So you need to know the compass to say we have our north on top here. Okay, we have our north on top, then we have our south, then we have our east, and we have our west. This is how the compass is. So this is east, this is west. They said B is west of A, meaning B is on the west part of A, so A is on the east part. I hope you get that concept. So if we were to draw it, it would look like this. We have our B on the west side, because B is on the west, B is west of A, and our A is on the east side. So this is how it has to be. Then one concept that you need to know is, because this is very important, if you misplace the two, okay, if you confuse the two, you will get the question wrong. So the concept is, time whenever we are going eastwards, it increases. Okay, so on the east side the time increases, on the west side time decreases, or it reduces. So that is very important. Meaning, if you know the time here, and you know the time difference between these two. When I say the time difference, it is the time interval between two towns. So, if the time difference, suppose, between these two is 5, then I know that, for example, at around a certain, on the certain day, it was 10 hours at B. What time was it at A? The concept you will use is, since it was 10 hours at B, you will get the time difference between these two towns. If it is 5, you will say that 10 which was at B plus 5, it will give you 15 at A. Meaning at A it was 15 hours. Because, why have we added? Because I said on the east side, time does what? Increases. But if they gave you time at A, then they ask you to find at B. Since B is on the west side, it means you are going to subtract from A, because B, which is on the west, time does what? Reduces. I think you get that concept. So, this is our concept that we are going to use, because they are saying that a family at A, which is on the east side, was watching a football match at 16 hours. So, 16 hours at what? At A. Then they ask us, at what time did a family at B watch the same match? When it was 16 at A, what time was it at B? So we will need to know the time difference between the two. Then, since B is on the west part, we will subtract from 16 hours at A. That was the time at what? B. That's the concept. I hope you get that one. So, let's find the time difference. How do we find the time difference? Well, time difference. So, time difference is equal to difference in longitude divided by 15 degrees. So this doesn't change. This is the fixed formula that we use every time. You get a difference in longitude, you divide by 15. That's the what? That's the time difference that you are going to have. That does not change always. Okay? It does not change always. So our time difference here, time difference is going to be difference in longitude we've been given. If you were not given, you have to find. Okay? So when they've given you the earth, they've drawn the diagram, you can easily find the two. So here it will be 105, our time difference, over 15. So our time difference is what? 105 divided by 15 is 7. So this is our time difference. So this is 7 hours. Okay? Meaning between time B and, between town B and town A, the difference in time is 7 hours. Since we know the difference in town, in time, so what are we going to say now? We will subtract this time difference from 16 to know the time at B, since B is on the west side. So we will say here, we will say this is 16, right? So we will say 16 hours. Then we subtract 7. So this is 07 hours. So this is going to be, so it is 16 minus what? Minus 7. And that is our time difference. So this is 09 hours. Because 16 minus 7 is what? Is 9. Meaning, when it was 16 at A, it was 9 hours at what? At B. So note that when we are writing here, you don't put those dots when you are writing time. You will write it like this. That's the rule. So it's like this. Okay. So that is it for this. Meaning, this is our A. It was 09 hours at what? At B. Then our B, our second question says, the distance between P and Q is 3,600 Newton-hours. If an aeroplane flies from P to Q at 600 knots, how long will it take? So, note here that we've been given two things. This is our B. So, I will do it like this. So for our B, we've been given firstly distance, to say the distance is 3,600 nautical miles. Then second thing, we've been given the speed. Okay, so they've said the speed is equal to 600 knots. Now they want time, so our time, the time is what we are looking for. So you use the formula speed is equal to distance over time. If you would like, you can make time the subject of the formula since it's the one we are calculating, or you can just go directly. Speed we've been given. Speed so is in knots. You should know that. Knots. Okay? So our speed is 600. That's what they've given us. So we'll replace speed with 600, which is equal to, our distance is 3,600 nautical miles divided by time. We are calculating time. So here, how is it going to be? We say over 1, we cross multiply. So 600 multiplied by t, this will be 600 t, which is equal to 3,600 multiplied by 1, it will be 3,600. So over 600, even here over 600. So our t is going to be 600. These zeros will cancel with these ones. We'll remain with 36 divided by 6. So 36 divided by 6 is 6. So our time is 6 hours. This is it for this question. I hope you get that one as well. Alright, let's go to the next. So this is our question 11. So the question says, the transpose of a matrix P is this. Write down the matrix P. So we've been given the transpose. P transpose is 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 0, 4, 1, 1. So the concept on the transpose, if you are given a matrix, then they want you to find the transpose. You convert the rows into columns. You get the rows. So I'm repeating that the rows are these, the horizontal parts. The columns are these. So you get the rows and put them columns. So the first row will be the first column. The second row will be the second column. The third row will be the third column. That is when you are given a matrix and you want to find the transpose. But in this case, we've been given the transpose. They want us to write the original matrix. So we use the same concept again. We get the rows and we make them columns. So therefore, matrix P will be, in this case, so our first row is this. So this will be the first column, 1, 3, and 4. Then second row is 2, 5, and 1. Then third row is 3, 0, and 1. Yeah, it will be like this. Alright, so this is it for A. Then we have our B. So our B says solve the equation, and we've been given this equation. So the equation is 2 to the power 2x minus 1, which is equal to 16 to the power negative 2x. Yeah. So 2 to the power 2x minus 1 is equal to 16 to the power negative 2x. That is the question. So how do you answer this question? So this question is from indices. The concept is you need to make the bases same. So you should manipulate and try to change these bases without changing their values, but you just write them in a different way such that they look same, they become same. So if the number here is 2, here it should be 2, or if here is 16, here it should be 16, or any numbers, but they should be same. And you should also know that you don't need to change the value. Okay, so when you do that, you can easily cancel them and you equate the powers. That's the concept. So in this case, it's not easy to change 2 but it's easy to change 16. So we'll try to make 16 become 2 here so that we can easily answer. So here it's going to be 2. We keep it to the power 2x minus 1 is equal to, this will be 16 here. So 16 is 2 to the power 4. Why? Because 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is what? Is 16. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is same as 16, meaning 2 to the power 4, because these 2's are 4. So 2 to the power 4 is same as what? 16. Meaning I have achieved the concept. I have done what? I have ensured that the bases are same, here 2 and here 2. But I haven't changed the value because this 2 is to the power 4, meaning it is still 16. So when I write like this, I multiply now this with the what? The power. And the power in this case is negative 2x. Okay, so this is going to be 2 to the power 2x minus 1, which is equal to 2 to the power, this is 4 times this, we multiply here. So 4 times negative 2x, that's negative 8x. Now here we can cancel the bases and equate the powers. So 2x minus 1 is going to be, we equate this to this, so this is this, and this side we have negative 8x. So here it now becomes a normal equation. What do? We collect the like terms. So we get this 8, bring it this side, we take this one, we bring it this side. So this will be 2x. Okay, this will be 2x. Then when this 8 crosses the equal sign, it changes the sign. So since here it's negative, it becomes positive 8x. Okay, is equal to this 1. Also it is the same thing, it crosses the side, so the sign moves from negative to positive, so it becomes plus 1. Then 2x plus 8x, this is what? This is 10x, which is equal to 1 over 10 here. Okay, over 10 over 10. So our x is equal to 1 over 10, and this is our what? Our answer. So that is it for B. Alright, we go to the next one. So the next one, this is question 12. So this is a sector. So it says the diagram below shows a sector A or B with a circle, of a circle with center O and radius 7 centimeters. The area of the sector is 25, 2 over 3 square centimeters. Then take pi as 22 over 7. So they want us to do what? To calculate angle A or B. So the angle, it is the letter on the middle, O. So this is our O. So this is the angle they need, and that angle is theta. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, on sectors, you need to know the area for calculating the formula for calculating the area of the sector. So the formula for calculating the area of the sector is area is equal to, so area is equal to theta over 360 multiplied by pi r squared. This is the formula that we use. Okay, so A is the area, this is the theta, the angle, pi we've been given. They will always give you the pi. Radius in this case we've been given. So sometimes they might give you the radius and the theta, they ask you to find the area. Sometimes they give you theta and area, ask you to find radius. Sometimes like this, they give the area and the radius and ask you to find the angle, which is theta. So firstly, we have our area. What is our area? So our area is 25, 2 over 3. This is same as, because using it like this, it might be a bit difficult with you. So you convert it. So by converting, you multiply 3 times 25. 3 times 25, that is 75, plus the numerator, the one on top. So 3 times 25 is 75 plus 2, that is 77 over this number down here, the same one, 3. So using the area like this will be a bit easier. So coming to our formula, we'll replace our area with what we've been given. So we'll be using the one we've converted, 77 over 3 is equal to, we are looking for theta, over 360 multiplied by pi is 22 over 7 multiplied by radius squared is 7 squared. Now note that 7 squared is same as 7 times what? 7 times 7. Okay, that is 7 squared. Here r squared. So here we can reduce this, 7 can cancel with this. Then here we can reduce also, 2 into 22 is 11. Yeah. Then 2 into 360 is 180. So here we are going to have 77 over 3, which is equal to 7. Here we are remaining with 17 times 11, that's 77 times theta, that is 77 theta over 180. From here, what do you do now? We cross multiply. So we'll say 3 times 77 theta. So this will multiply with this. So 3 times 77 theta is equal to 180 times 77 here. 180 times 77. So here you don't multiply, because when you multiply, the numbers will be very big. You write them like this. Then you see if you can reduce them. That's the concept. So in this case, we can reduce, because we have 77 here. We can say over 77, even this side over 77. So that this cancels with this cancels with this. So from here, we are going to have 3 multiplied by theta. So here we have 3 theta being equal to, then on the other side we remain with what? 180. Okay, so we can say over 3 over 3. So our theta will be 180 divided by 3. So 180 divided by 3 will also be a bit high. So we'll say 18 divided by 3. 3 into 3 is 1. 3 into 18 is 6. So 6, then we keep this 0. So it becomes 60. So meaning our angle AOB is equal to 60 degrees. So that is our answer for that one. Then the second question says, Ngiwezi invested 14,500 in a business firm. Then the condition was that if she left her shares in the firm for 12 months, a profit of 5% would be added to her shares. Then they ask how much will she get at the end of 12 months. So this is simple. You just break it down step by step. How do you do that? Well, so they are saying this Ngiwezi invested how much? So invested 14,500 kwacha in a business firm. So this is her money. This is the money she invested in the what? In the business. Then it says the condition was that if she left these shares, this amount of money, for the period of what? For a period, if she left this for a period of 12 months, a profit of 5% would be added to her shares. Meaning, if she retains this money in this business firm for a period of 12 months, they'll add 5%. Okay, so that was the deal. A profit of 5% would be what? Would be added to her shares after a period of 12 months. And that was fixed. Meaning, if they are asking how much will she get at the end of 12 months. Firstly, we need to know what is 5% of this total amount, because that's the amount that will be added. Okay, so if we know that the 5% of 5% of this is this, at the end of 12 months, since it is 12 months they are asking, we will add that 5% to the original money she had, and that is going to be the total money. I hope you get that concept. So what are we going to say here? Firstly, we will need to calculate 5% of this. If we know the 5%, then we will add to this total money. That's the amount you will get at the end of 12 months. So let's find the 5% of this total. Now, when you are finding the percentage, it is always fixed. You get the percentage that you are finding, divide by the total percentage that we have, which is fixed, and it is 100. So you get the percentage you have, divide by 100, multiplied by the total amount you are dealing with, or by the total number you are dealing with. So in this case, it's going to be 5% over 100% multiplied by 14,500 kwacha. Percentage, of course, will cancel with percentage. Then this 100, these two zeros will cancel with these two zeros. So we'll remain with 1 here, meaning we'll remain with nothing here. So we'll have 145 multiplied by 5. So it's going to be 145 kwacha multiplied by 5. So 5 times 5, that's 25. 5, you keep 2. 5 times 4, that's 20, plus 2, that is 22. We write 2, we keep 2. So 5 times 1, that is 5, plus 2, that is 7. So in total she had 725 kwacha. Okay, 725 what? Kwacha. Meaning this was the what? The 5% of the total amount. So according to the deal, if she remained in the business for a period of 12 months, they will add the 5%, and the 5% we've calculated is this, meaning after every 12 months they will be giving her 725 kwacha. So after the period of what? 12 months, how much will she get at the end of 12 months? So she's going to get this 5% plus the total shares that she had. So we will say we have 14,500, then plus 725 kwacha. So this will be 0 plus 0, 0 plus 5, this will be 5. 0 plus 2 will be 2. 5 plus 7, this will be 12, right? Yeah, 5 plus 7, it will be 12. So write 2, we keep 1. Then 4 plus 0, it will be 0, plus 1, it will be 5. 1 plus 0 will be 1, and this is the kwacha. So this is the total amount that she's going to do what? To get, we say 0.00. So this is the total money she's going to get after the period of 12 months. I hope you get that one. All right, let's go to the next. So question 13. The question says, the diagram below shows a circle with a tangent RWS. So this is a tangent. A tangent is a line that touches the circumference. So we have this circumference, or the circle. The line that touches it outside, it just touches it, that's the what? The tangent. So RWS, this is the tangent. So the points V, W, X, and Y are on the circle, such that XYW is 44 degrees. This angle is 44. VWY is 54. This angle, and SWV is equal to 39. SWV here is what? 39. Then they ask A to say calculate wx. That's the first question. So rwx, then bx vw, x vw, c yxw, yxw, this one. All right, so let's break it down. So one thing you need to know, when they give you the concept of the tangent, you should always know that you have to use that. They will not put it there then without you somehow somewhere using it. So know that you need to know the concept of tangent on circle theory, and you have to use it. When they give you this 44, always know that you need to use this somewhere somehow. Even this 54, you need to use it somewhere somehow. Even this 39. That's how circle theorem works. So what are we going to do here? All right, so let me explain the concept of the tangent. So like I said, if you have, suppose a circle like this, then there is a tangent. This is the tangent, and I have this diameter, the line that passes through the center. So the concept of the tangent, if there is any chord or any line, for example here, which touches at one point of the circumference, and it goes and touches at that point where the tangent is meeting the circle. It touches there where the tangent is meeting the circle, and it also touches the circumference at any point. That line or that chord has a relationship with the with the tangent, such that the relationship is the angle between the tangent and that line. This angle between the tangent and that line, so this angle will be equivalent to all the angles that will be produced between this chord, between this end and this end. For example, if I have one angle that is like this, if you see this angle, it is starting from here, goes to the circumference, then from the circumference now it goes back to that point. So this chord here, suppose here is, we have A, B, C. So this angle will be equal to the angle which will be produced between B and C, because that's the chord. So this angle is produced between B and C. So this angle is equivalent to what? To this one. That's the concept of the tangent. Again, if these points produces another angle, for example, it comes here and it comes like this, this angle will also be same as this one. So this one will be equal to this one, to be equal to this one, because this one and this one are both being produced from B and C. From here it comes to here, from here it comes to here. That's the concept. So all these will be same to this. Same, even if the chord was produced from here, the angle that will be here will be equivalent to all the angles that will be produced from this chord. So if there is an angle that is like this, then it comes like this. This angle will be equal to this. Why? Because it is being produced between this point and this point. Goes to the circumference, comes back, so it is equal to this. That is the concept of the tangent. I don't know if you've gotten it. So in this case, what are we going to say? In this case, they are asking RWX, RWX. Now you note that this is the tangent, this is our diameter here, passes through the center. So this is our tangent, and we have this chord, the same concept I'm from explaining. It touches from the circumference and it touches on W here, meaning all the angles that will be produced between W and X will be equal to what? This angle, because this angle is between the tangent and the what? And XW or WX here. So since this angle is between the tangent and this, between W and X, what are the angles that we have? So you can see that this has been produced between X and W, meaning this 44 is equal to here, hence here it is also 44 degrees. Okay, and again, is there any other angle? Yes, of course. So this is the first one between W and X. Then this same chord has produced also this other angle, okay, because it is also made, this V is made between X, from X then it comes to W, meaning even this one has to be 44 degrees according to the rule or the law of what? The tangent. So that is how it's going to be. So RWX is what? Is 44. So this is what? 44 degrees. Why? Because this angle is equivalent to all the angles produced from this chord, which is 44, even this 44. B is XVW. So you see that they just wanted to confuse students because they know this concept. So even here it is what? It is 44, and once you unlock this pattern, it means you can easily answer it. The last question now is YXW. Okay, YXW, that's the one that they need. So for YXW, we use the concept that there is one concept to say on circle theory, opposite angles adds up to 180. So this angle is opposite to this, they are facing each other. Okay, suppose I have a diameter here. So if this is X and this is Y, angle X, this one, plus angle Y should give me 180. Angle X plus angle Y should give me 180. That is the concept, it is fixed. So if I have two angles which are opposite, they are facing each other, I should add them and equate them to 180. So that's the concept we use here. Now how? So firstly we'll do what? We'll draw a dotted line like this. So when I draw a line like this, mind you, we are looking for this angle. So this angle now becomes opposite to this angle, okay? This angle. So if I know this angle, then I can solve for this, because I will say this plus this, the entire, it will be equal to 180. So let me look for this. What is this angle? Well, how am I going to look for this angle? Firstly, this is a triangle. This is a triangle, and I've been given this 54. So I can use the concept of the tangent again. How am I going to use it? So here, see that here I have another chord. This chord touches at V and it touches at what? At W. So the concept of the tangent, the one I explained in the first place, will be applied here. How? So here it's going to be like any angle that will be produced between W and V will be equal to this angle. Okay, because this angle is being produced between the tangent and this chord which touches the tangent here. And here they've said this is 39. So this 39 will be equal to any angle that will be produced between this and this. So how many angles? Okay, we can see that this angle is being produced between W and V, meaning this is also what? 39 degrees. I hope you get that concept. So this is also 39 because it is being produced between W and V. Even this one, this is also what? 39 degrees because it is being produced between V and W here. So now we are not interested in this, we are interested in this because we want to find this. So how can I find this? Well, I know that a triangle always adds up to 180. So here, what can I say? Here I will say I have 54 here. No wonder they gave me 54 degrees. They knew. Plus 39 here. 39 is equal to what? Is equal to 180 degrees. Okay? No, I've left out one. So 54 plus this, the one we are looking for. So we'll say 54 plus 39 plus, we are looking for this, so let's say it's X is equal to 180 degrees. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So 54 plus 30 plus 39, what is our answer? So 54 plus 39, that's 93. 3 degrees plus x is equal to 180 degrees. So our x is going to be 180 degrees. When 93 comes this side, it becomes negative. So our x is going to be 180 minus 93. So our answer is going to be 87 degrees. So this angle is what? Is 87. The entire angle here is 87 degrees. Since this is 87 and it is opposite to this, because we are looking for this, now we can apply the concepts to say, what did I say in the first place? So this is yxw. We can say y xw plus the opposite. This is yvw. yvw should give me 180 opposite angles. So yxw is the one I'm looking for, plus yvw, we found that it is 87, and this should give me 180. So yxw is equal to 180 degrees. When this 87 crosses the other side, it becomes minus 8 what? 80 minus 87 degrees. So yxw is equal to, so here we are going to say 180 minus what? Minus 87. So 180 minus 87 is 93 degrees. So our answer for the last one is what? 93 degrees. Okay, so this is it for this one. We go to the next. So the next one says the ratio of the heights of two containers that are geometrically similar is 2 to 3. If the surface area of the smaller container is 8 square centimeter, find the surface area of the larger container. Okay, so this is how we answer this one. I'll use this space. So okay, well, let me just use this space here because this one also, okay, yeah, I can use this one. So here we will say we've been given the ratio of heights, the ratio of heights of two containers, to say it is 2 to 3. Then they've given us the heights and they are asking us to find the area. Same concept that happened to that question that we solved. We were given the scale on the map and they asked us to find the what? The area. So since this is the height and we are dealing with the area, so we will square this because the units of area is centimeter squared. Since it has squared, we will square this ratio. So it's going to be 2 squared, that is 4, 2, 3 squared, that is 9. Okay, so this ratio is between the heights of the smaller and the larger what? Container. Then they've also given us the area of the smaller, to say area of the smaller container is 8 square centimeters. Now they are looking for the area of the larger container. So we will use this ratio to say this is 4 over 9. 4 to 9 is same as what? 4 over 9 is equal to, so note that 4 is for the smaller one, 9 is for the bigger one, because 4 is actually small. So for the area, they've given us the area of the smaller, and on top this is the height for the smaller. So on top also it should be the area for the what? For the smaller, which is 80 square centimeters, over the area for the bigger container. Now that's the one we are doing what? We are looking for. So we say A and we cross multiply. So 4 times A is going to be 4A, which is equal to, this is 80 multiplied by 9. So we say over 4 over 4. Then our area for the bigger one is equal to, so here you shouldn't multiply it directly again. I'm repeating because the number will be bigger and for you to reduce it will be difficult. So you write it like this. Then here it's easy because 4 into 4 is 1. 4 into 8 is 2. So here you will have 20 times 9. So our area for the bigger one is going to be 20 times 9. So 20 times 9, that is 180 square centimeters. So this is our what? Our area. And just like that, we've answered. Then for this one, it says in the diagram below, the triangle ABC is mapped onto triangle STU by a combined transformation. So we have ABC. This has been mapped into triangle STU by a combined transformation. So it says name the two transformations that map triangle ABC into triangle STU. So this was our A, our B. So they want us to name those two transformations because the information is saying they use the combined transformation. So what are those two transformations that they used? Alright, so the concept here, you look at the diagrams. So the first thing, so the two transformations that they used, we have translation, that is the first one. The second one is reflection. So first thing is, actually these are the only ones that we have in paper 1. So since they said it's a combined, so both of them have to be used. But here is the explanation. One thing that you need to know is when you look at this, you will see that the first triangle is in the first quadrant. So we have this, our x or y plane. This is the first quadrant, second, third, fourth. So the first one was in the first, but the transformation after being transformed, the triangle becomes in the third. So it moves from the first to the third. So you should keep that concept. Moves from the first to the what? To the third. That is the property of what? Reflection. Reflection in the y-axis. In the y-axis. So if you see that it moves from the first, but it was in the first, but it gets reflected, transformed in the what? In the third quadrant. That is reflection. Okay. Then the other thing, even the slope changes, the direction of slope. You see that this first one, the slope was going like this. Okay, it's going like this. But for this one, see that the slope is going up like this. So the direction of the slope has also changed after it gets reflected. So that component also shows that they've used reflection. Then for translation, you just see that, of course, this has been translated. When you look at the distance, it had starting from the x-axis, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is on the 5th point here. But here from the x-axis here, how many lines are these? So it has been translated from the 5th to this point here. This is negative 4. This is where it has come. Okay, so here the distance was just 5 units here, but it has been translated to this. Okay, and also even the distance from here in the y-axis, here we also have 5, but here we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on the 5th, here it's on the 4th. So it has been translated from the 5th point for the original. Here it becomes to this point, and from here in the y-axis to this point, it moves, it gets translated 1 point closer. So you see that this has been what? Translated. Okay, so this is transformation, and these are the two combined transformations that they used. So translation and reflection in the y-axis. All right. So question 15 says, two variables x and y have corresponding values as shown in the table below. So we have this table showing x values and y values, so they are corresponding. Then the information says, given that y varies directly as x squared plus 1, find a, the constant variation, k, b, equation connecting y and x, and c, values of a. So firstly, let's start with a. So how is our a going to be? So for a, given that y varies directly as this, find the constant of variation k. So we will say y varies, this is the symbol, y varies directly. When they say directly, you put this thing just after this variation symbol, I mean this varies. So it will be x squared plus 1. Okay, so this, I've expressed this, it says y varies directly. So when it is directly, you say varies directly, you put directly here whatever you are given here. So since this is the x value, which is x squared plus 1, so y varies directly as this. If they said inversely, we would have said like y varies inversely, would have said 1 over x squared plus 1. Have you gotten it? This is inverse. We say 1 over whatever you are given with. But if it is directly, it is not inversely, we go like this. I hope you get that concept. So here, this is the first thing. Now they want us to find the constant of variation k, the constant k. So y is equal to, now we have to make the equation. So we now introduce the equal sign. Whenever we introduce the equal sign, immediately we introduce the k here. That's the rule, it's fixed. So once you make the relationship, you now introduce the equal sign, which is being followed by the constant k immediately. Okay, so this will be multiplied by this that we have. So this is how it's going to be. So what are we going to do here now? We'll use the values that are fixed in the table, because we've been given the table. We'll get the values that are fixed and replace them here so that we find k, because they want us to find k. So we can use the first row, I mean the first column, 2 and 20. For x we get 2, for y we get 20, because this is the first column. So you say when x is equal to 2, comma, y is equal to 20, we have, where there is y now, we replace with 20. So we have 20 is equal to, k is the one we are looking for. Where there is x, we replace it with 2 squared plus 1. Okay, so 20 is equal to, where there is k, you replace it like this. You maintain, because we are looking for k. Yeah, we maintain. So here it's going to be 20 is equal to, this is our k we are looking for. Then this is 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 1, that is 5. So we are going to have 5 here. For us to find k, we'll divide by 5 here. Even this side will divide by 5. This 5 will cancel with this. So our k will be 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So this is going to be our answer here. Hope you get that one. Then for b, find the equation connecting y and x. So for the equation, this is our b. You will get that equation that you made to say y is equal to k x squared plus 1. This is the equation connecting y and x. But you replace k with what you have. Okay, because now we found k. So it's going to be y is equal to, where there is k you put 4. Then x squared plus 1. So if you want, you can leave it like this. If you want, you can further expand it. You multiply this with this to give you 4x squared plus 4. So that is one and the same. So that is b. Then C, they say find the values of A. So A is here, meaning we are using this column, the last column, this one. Okay, so we'll get the same equation. This is our equation. So now when we get the equation, where there is y, we'll replace with 104 because 104 is going with A. Yes, so we'll say where there is y, 104 is equal to 4. Where there is x, we replace with A because that's the value of what? A. That's the value of x. So it will be, where there is x, we put A plus 1. So this is A squared plus 1. Yeah, it will be like this. So here, what can we do? We can divide by 4, even this side by 4. So that we have this, which is A squared plus 1 being equal to, this is 104 divided by what? Divide by 4. 104 divided by what? Divide by 4. So this is going to give us 26. So we can say A squared is equal to, we take this one to the other side, so we are going to have 26 here. When this one becomes minus 1, so our A squared is going to be 26 minus 1, that is 25. To get rid of the square, we introduce the square root on both sides. So these two cancels with the square. So our A will be equal to plus or minus the square root of 25 is 5. So when you introduce the square root, you should know that you always have plus or minus. You have 2. No wonder the question said, if you look at the question, find the values of A. The values, not the value, meaning it is not singular. In other words, there are more than one values. So you need to take both. So we will say A is equal to positive 5 or negative 5. Both these answers are part of what? A part of A. So that is it for this. Then we go to the next one. So these are functions, and functions are very simple. So it says, given that f of x is equal to 8x and g of x is equal to 3x minus 2 over 4, find a f inverse of x. So let's deal with a first. So we have f of x as 8x, g of x as 3x minus 2 over 4. So for a, they want us to find f inverse of x. How do you find the inverse? First thing, you take the function. So we are dealing with x. So you forget about g, you focus on f of x, because that's the one we are dealing with for a. So you get that f of x they are telling you. Then you equate the function to y. Okay, so you will say, since this is f of x, now you say y, you replace this with y. F of x is equal to 8x. After that, then you make x the subject of the equation. So you divide by 8, even here by 8, so that you remain with x here. So your x is going to be y divided by what? Divided by 8. So it's going to be y divided by 8. When you reach that point, now you replace y with x. You replace the value of y with x. Whenever there is I, you put x, and that is your f inverse of x. So it's going to be f inverse of x is equal to, where there is y, we put what? X over 8. And this is our answer for question 1. Then we come to B. So B says we need to find what? We need to find an expression for fg of x. So they want us to find an expression for fg of x. So when you see a function like this, fg of x, this is our b. So our b, fg of x. What this means is you take the function of g, of the first one. The first is x. The first is f. So you take the functions of f, the first one here. Then on that function of f, the first one, whenever there is x, you replace it with the function of the second one, which is g. So we will get our f. Whenever there is x, we replace it with g. That's the concept. So here, how is it going to be? So we'll get our f of x. Our f of x is what? Is 8x. So we'll get 8x. Where there is x, we replace with g, which is this. So it will be, our f of x is 8. Then where there is x, we replace it with g. So g is 3x minus 2 over 4. So this is going to be, here you can see that this can cancel. 4 into 4 is 1. 4 into 8 is 2. So 2 can multiply with this. 2 times 3, this is 6x, minus 2 times 2, this is 4. So this is 6x minus 4. And this is the answer for what? For B. Then for C, find the values of x for which fg of x is equal to 20. So this fg of x we are from finding is equal to what? 20. Then we find the value of x. So if you got this wrong, even the next one, you will get it wrong because we are using this. So this is our fg of x. So we'll say our fg of x, which is 6x minus 4, is equal to what? Is equal to 20 according to the equation. So here, this will be 6x is equal to 20. This 4 will come here and it will be what? It will be plus 4. So 6x will be 20 plus 4. 20 plus 4 is what? Is 24. So over 6 over 6. So our x is going to be 24 divided by 6 is 4. So this is the value of what? Of x. I hope you get that one as well. And this is it for question 16. Okay, question 17. It says, in the diagram below, a cyclist starts from town W. So we have town W, that's where it starts from, and cycles on a bearing of 260. So W, the north, they draw a straight line, then starting from there, 260 to town P. This is town P. So this one, 260. Then she leaves town P and cycles on a bearing of 296 from town P, 296 to town what? Z. Z is west of W. So this Z is west of what? W. It is on the west side of W. Then it says calculate PWZ. PWZ. So PWZ. So one thing here, PWZ is this angle. Okay, this angle. So the concept we'll use here, we know that the entire circle is what? Is 360. So if I know starting from here all the way up to here, I can say that the entire 360 minus this up to here, I will remain with this side here. I hope you get that concept. 360, which is the full circle, minus this. So I need to know from here to here, but I'm only given from here to here. So I need to know this one. Okay? So that is important. Now, this is 90 degrees. By looking, you can see that this is a straight line. This line is making 90 degrees with this. Okay, it is perpendicular. So since this is 90 degrees, it means from here to here I'm going to have, so here I will say this is what, 90 degrees. So from here to here I'm going to say it's 216 plus 90. So this is going to be, this is 6, this is 10, we write 0, keep 1, this is 3. So this is 306 from here to here. So if I want PWZ, this one here, and I know this as 360, I will say therefore PWZ will be 360 minus what? Minus this one, which is 306. You get that one? So that is very important to do what? To know and understand. So this will be 360 minus 306. Okay, let me just confirm here. Okay, so here I'm going to have my PWZ as 360 minus 306. This will give me 54 degrees. But you need to write, when you have only two significant figures, you need to add 0. It should be 3. So 054 degrees. So this is my PWZ, 054 degrees. Then I need to go to B. B says WPZ, WPZ, this. Okay, so for me to find this, what am I going to do? So what I will do is I will say, if I know the entire circle, that the entire circle is 360, and I know this part from here to here, I will say 360 the entire total minus this part, I will remain with this. So that's the concept I will use. So note that 296 is from here all the way to here, but me, I need only to end here without this. I need to know this distance so that I can subtract it from 360, but this reaches to this point. So I need to find this small angle here. When I find this small angle, I will subtract it from 296. If I subtract this from 296, I will remain with this starting from here to here. Okay, I hope you get that one. So let's find this small one and subtract it from 296 to get the angle from here to here. So for me to do that, I need to apply the rule. If this is a straight line like this, even this one is a straight line like this, this now becomes a zigzag. This, it is making a zigzag, zigzag. The concept here on the zigzag, on a zigzag angle like this small angle is same as this small angle here. Okay, this angle is same as this angle, small angle here. So if I know this, it is same as this. So I need to know this. Now how can I know this? Well, it is simple, because from here to here I'm given 216, and from here to here this is a straight line. Okay, and a straight line has 180 degrees. A straight line has 180 degrees, meaning if I remove 180 from this, 180 will end here, I will remain with this. Okay, because 180 is ending here, a straight line. So I will say 216 minus 180 degrees, and that is going to be 216. 6 minus 0, that is what? 6. Here we remain with 1, we put 1 here. 11 minus 8, that is 3. Okay, then this is 0. Okay, so we have 0, 36 degrees here. So 36, even here it means it is what? 36. Since here it is 36, for me to know from here to here, I will say 296 minus this small 36 here. So it's going to be 296 minus 36. So 6 minus 6 is 0. 9 minus 3 is 6. This is 2. So this becomes 260. Meaning from here to here, it is what? It is 260. That is the concept. So since from here to here it is 260, and I want this part, well, I know this part, I will say the entire part, the circle, is 360 minus this 260. So it's going to be 360 degrees minus 260 degrees, which is 100 degrees. So this is going to be our P, our what? WPZ. It is 100 degrees. I hope you get that one. So that's the concept on this one. Then question 18 says, the diagram below shows a regular hexagonal prism. Okay, so this is a regular hexagonal prism. So why do they say a regular? Because you can say that the shapes here are same, and an hexagon has what? How many sides? Has 6 sides. When it is regular, those 6 sides are what? Are equal. So state the number of planes of symmetry. So for the number of planes of symmetry of a regular, when it is a regular hexagon, if you want to find the number of planes of symmetry, you can use a simple formula to say the number of planes of symmetry is equal to n plus 1, where n is the number of sides. So in this case we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's an hexagon, so it means it has 6 sides. So this is going to be 6 plus 1. So this is going to be 7, and 7 is your what? Is your answer. So the number of planes of symmetry is equal to 7. If you don't want that, you can still prove it, because the number of planes of symmetry means how many lines can you cut this hexagon such that after cutting it, it gets folded into 2 equal parts. Okay, into 2 equal parts. So you can still go on and start counting. When you cut it like this, as the first one, you cut it like this, you will see that we have 2 equal parts. So this is 1. You can say 1. When we cut it like this, we'll have 2 equal parts, and this is 2. When we cut it like this, we'll have 3 equal parts. You can say that as what? As 3. When we cut it like this, we'll have 2 equal parts. You can call that 4. When we cut it like this, we have 2 equal parts, this and this. We can call that 5. When you cut it like this, we'll have 2 equal parts. We can call that 6. You can also cut it here on the middle. That's the plus 1 where it comes from, and we'll have 2 equal parts. That is 7. So the number of planes of symmetry is still equal to 7. Now B says a piece of timber measures 5.25 centimeters long. Calculate the relative error of the measurement. So the relative error formula is relative error is equal to absolute error over true value. So absolute error over true value, the true value is the one you are given. So if we just find the absolute error, then over the true value is 1. It means we will find our what? Our relative error. So what is the absolute error? Absolute error you find by looking at the true value. if the true value you are given is a whole number, like 1 without any decimal place, meaning without point something, without any points, it's just 1, it means your absolute error is 0.5. okay, it is 0.5. If your number has 1 decimal place, that means it has 1 number after the point, your absolute error becomes 0.05. If you have 2 decimal places, 2 numbers after the point, your absolute error becomes 0.005. If you have 3 numbers after the point, 3 numbers, absolute error becomes 0.0005. That's how it goes. So you need to know this concept. So in this case, our true value has how many decimal places? 2, because this is 5.25, meaning our absolute error has 2 decimal places, and for 2 decimal places that was our true value, so our absolute error is going to be 0.005. okay, I hope you get that one. So that's how it's going to be. So therefore the relative error is going to be absolute error, which is 0.005, over true value, the one we are given, 5.25. This is it, but we can't leave it like this. We need to leave it in whole numbers. So we can multiply this to convert this into a whole number. It needs to move 1, 2, 3 steps. So we multiply it with 1000. Even if we multiply here, the same even at the bottom. So we are going to have this multiplied by 1000 will move 1, 2, 3. So we are going to have 5. This will move 1, 2, 3. So we are going to have 5, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3. So we are going to have a 0 here. So we'll have 5 over 525. 5 over 5250. Yeah. So here you need to reduce. How do you reduce? Well, here is my simple method. If you want to reduce something like this, you say, so I'll write here, but this is only for examiners. In the final exams, don't write here. But because of space, I'll write here. So we'll have 5 over, this is 5250. I want to show you how to reduce. This is 5250. So it's going to be, you write it separately. This is same as 5000 plus 200 plus 50. This is same because when we add, it's going to give us 5250. Then this becomes easy to divide, to simplify, because 5 into 5000, 5 will go into this 1. So here we're going to have 1000 plus this 5 into 200. 5 into 20 is 4. Then with this 0, so it's going to be 4 with a 0, it's 40. Plus 5 into 50, so we say 5 into 5, that is 1, plus the 0, that will be 10. Meaning this is same as 1 on top over, this is 40 plus 10, that is 50. We just add now 40 plus 10, that is 50. 1000 plus 50, that is 1050. So this is your final answer. So it is, the relative error is equal to 1 over 1050. This is your final answer. I hope you understand that one. Then question 19 says integrate 3x to the power 4 minus 4x to the power negative 3 with respect to x. So how do we integrate with respect to x? So this is paper 1. So 3x to the power 4 minus 4x to the power negative 3. When you are integrating, you always need to know that you say y. This is how you integrate. So you say y is equal to, you add 1 to the power. So this is 3x to the power 4. So you add 1 to the power. Our power is 4. You say 4 plus what? 1. That is the concept of integration. So you add 1 to the what? To the power. So it will be 3x to the power 4 plus 1. Then you divide everything by the entire stuff on the top, which is 4 plus 1. So we will say over 4 plus 1. Okay? You come to the second one, which is minus 4x to the power negative 3. This power negative 3, again you add what? 1. You say everything over the same thing on top, negative 3 plus 1 plus c. So c is the constant. It is always there. In paper 2 mainly c is 0 and we find it, but mainly it is 0. So for the most part it disappears. But in paper 1 you include it because we don't find c. You let it like that all the way until the final answer. So this is it. So we are going to have y is equal to, this will be 3x to the power 4 plus 1. This is going to be 3x to the power 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 1 at the bottom is also 5. This will be negative, divide by negative, because negative 3 plus 1 will be negative 2. So negative 2 will have negative 4 divided by negative 2. That will be positive, right? Plus 4x. This is negative 3 plus 1. That is negative 2 plus c. Then over here negative 3 plus 2, that is, so here we'll have positive 2 because I've already divided. It will be negative 3 plus 1, it will be negative 2. Then negative, this negative 2, the negative will cancel with this negative and it will become positive. So the 2 here will be positive. I hope you get that one. So it will be 4 is equal to 3 over 5 x to the power 5 plus, so this is going to be 4 divided by 2, that is 2x to the power negative 2 plus c. So if you want, you can leave it like this. If you don't want, you can say y is equal to 3 over 5x to the power 5. Then you convert this to say this is same as plus 2 over x squared plus c. So this will be your final answer. In this way you have integrated. So that is it. Then our B says solve the equation. So we have this was our A, this will be our B. It says 2x minus 1 squared is equal to 25. So here the first thing, we have a square, we need to kill this. How do you get rid of it? You introduce square roots to both sides. This cancels with this. We remain with what is inside, 2x minus 1, which is equal to square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. So here you need to have two answers. You are going to say, so that you don't get confused, 2x minus 1 is equal to, first you say positive 5, or 2x minus 5 is equal to, you get negative 5. Okay, yeah, so that's how it's going to be. So then here we will say this is 2x is equal to, this is 5. When this negative comes here, it becomes plus 1. So 2x is going to be 5 plus 1, that's 6 over 2 over 2. So our x here is going to be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. That is our first value. Our second value here, O, is going to be 2x is equal to negative 5. This negative 1, when it crosses the other side, it becomes plus 1. So it's going to be 2x is equal to negative 5 plus 1, that's negative 4. So here we are going to say over 2 over 2. So x is going to be negative 4 divided by 2. That will be negative 2. So those will be our two values of x. X is equal to 3 or x is equal to negative 2. I hope you get that one. We go to the next question 20. So it says find the equation of a line which is parallel to 2x plus y is equal to 3 passing through 2 comma negative 2 comma 3. So the equation of the line, okay, the equation of the line, you need to have two things. You need to have the points which we have, you need to have the gradient. So the gradient, will get it from the equation. The equation is 2x plus y equal to 3. So for the gradient, you make y the subject of the formula, because we are going to use the standard equation, which is y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the what? Is the gradient. So you get that coefficient of x. When you make y the subject of the formula, you go to where x is, then you get the coefficient, that's the gradient. So that's the concept to use. So we make y the subject of the formula. So y is equal to, this 2x will cross, it will become negative 2x plus this positive 3. So from here, this is our x and this is the coefficient. Therefore we can say our m gradient is negative 2. Okay, so the concept, when you see that the lines are parallel lines have equal gradients, that's the concept. So we use this same gradient, okay, to find the equation of the other line. So we'll say y minus y1 is equal to m open brackets x minus x1. This is the formula you will use now to calculate the equation. So you will get the points that you have. We have negative 2 comma 3. So this is our x1, this is our y1. So you will say y minus y1 is 3, which is equal to m is negative 2, the gradient that we found. X minus x1 is negative 2. So minus negative 2, it will be plus what? Plus 2, because we have negative times negative. So here we are going to have y minus 3 being equal to, this will be negative 2 times x, negative 2x, plus, minus negative 2 times positive 2, that will be minus 4. Okay, so this will be equal to, so here now we will say y is equal to, this will be negative 2x minus 4. Then we'll get this 3 and take it to the other side. So these will remain like this. Then this, when it comes here, it will be plus 3. So y is going to be, negative 2x, negative 4 plus 3, that is minus 1. So this is the what? This is the equation of the line which is parallel to what? To that equation we were given and passing through these points. So this is the answer. Then for B, it says the diagram in the answer space below is an incomplete flowchart to calculate cos x for the right triangle shown. So we have this triangle, and this incomplete what? Flowchart. So this incomplete flowchart, they want to calculate the what? They want to calculate cos x for the triangle shown. So this is trig. Okay, this is trig. Now, since this is trig and we are calculating cos x, we have been given this triangle. When you look at the triangle, all the values are given. We have x, we have z, and we have y. So for cos x, among those formulas that we use even in paper 2, there are, you will see that there's a formula we use when we've only been given all the sides, and when we've not been given all the sides. So when we've been given all the sides, the other formula that is already given actually in the paper for cos x, when you have all the sides, is equal to y squared plus z squared minus x squared over 2yz or 2zy, either ways. So using these figures, this is how the formula is going to do what? To be, okay, for cos x. So this formula is fixed, you need to know. So when we come to the flowchart now, this is what you should know. Begin is already filled, and only these two parts are not filled. You need to know that this parallelogram, we use it when we are entering something, we are inputting the values. Then this one we use it for calculations, for the formulas, okay? So for this one, where we input the values, you can say input, or you can say enter anything. So you enter what we are going to use. So we are using x, y, and z. So you say input x, y, comma, z. That is the first step. The second step, now you write the formula for cos x, and from writing to say y squared plus z squared minus x squared over 2zy. That's the formula now that you write here, and you are done with this question. So we go to the next. The next says, in the diagram below, R is the unshaded region. Write 3 inequalities which describe the region R. So we have this R. So this is linear programming, okay, for paper 1. So you should know that when you are dealing with the lines, you need to know that if the line is a straight line, you only deal with greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Then if the line is dotted, you remove the equal to, becomes greater than or less than. Now for this question, it is paper 1. So this is what we'll be working with. So for this question, what you do is, if you want to write the inequalities which describe the region R, okay, you start now getting the points, taking the lines that we have. So we have this first one. So this is passing through these points. So here maybe you can't see clearly. This is 0, 0. So it is passing through. So for inequality 1, it is passing through 0, 0. Then it is also passing here. Here we've been given 5, 5. I'm sure you can't see clearly, but we've been given 5, 5. So here we use the concept of gradient to say gradient is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This will be x1 y1, x2 y2. So our gradient is going to be y2, that is 5 minus y1, which is 0, over x2, which is 5 minus x1, which is 0. So our gradient is going to be 1, 5 by 5. So our gradient is equal to 1. Therefore the equation is equal to y is equal to x. This is our equation. Y is equal to x. So the value of y is always equal to the value of what? X. So for this, the inequality will be what? So when you start writing the inequality, you consider how it is shaded. When you look at this, you see that it is shaded on the upper part. The top part is shaded. So this is greater than, this is less than. For this one, this is greater than, this is less than. For this one, this is greater than, this is less than. So for this one, the greater part is what? Is shaded. Okay? The greater part is what? Is shaded. So since the greater part is shaded, you will say it is shaded, and R is opposite. It is the what? The it is opposite to what is shaded. It is the unshaded region. What is shaded is what? Is the upper part. So we will say y is what? Is less than or equal to x. We use this equation, same equation. Now where there was equal to, we say less than or equal to, because we are looking for r. Since they shaded the greater than or equal to, we will use the opposite, because r is on the opposite side, which is less than or equal to. I hope you get that concept. So that's how it's going to be. For 2, it's going to be, we'll get this one. So this is also passing through 5, 5, and it is passing through, this is 8, 0. So our gradient is going to be, this will be x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 is 0 minus y1 is 5. x2 is 8 minus x1 is 5. So this will be negative 5 over 3. So this will be our gradient. So our line will be y minus y1. When we use that same equation to say y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. So y minus y1, you get here, we have our 5 equal to, our m now is negative 5 over 3. Open brackets, x minus x1 is 5. So this now becomes y minus 5 is equal to, this is negative 5x over 3 plus 25 over 3. So this will be y. Okay, so here maybe we can okay, we can take this on the other side. Y is equal to negative 5 over 3 x plus 25 over 3 plus, when this 5 comes here, becomes positive 5. When we work this out, this is going to give you, this will give okay, we can say this is, you can make it somewhere here. It will be 25 over 3 plus 5 over 1. So over 3, the common denominator. 3 into 3 is 1, multiplied by 25, that's 25 plus 1 into 3 is 3. 3 into 3 multiplied by 15. 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. Yeah. Then 25 plus 15, that is 40 over 3. So this will be 40 over 3. So we have our y is equal to negative 5 over 3 x plus 40 over 3. So this is our y. And when we come to the equation, this is shaded. How is it shaded? Greater than or equal to. So we get the opposite, which is less than or equal to. So y is less than or equal to negative 5 over 3x plus 40 over 3. This will be our inequality 2. For 3, the last one, it's going to be this one. So this one, we'll start with this. This is the y-axis. This is 0, 1, 2. So this is 0, 2, and this is 8, 0. So we have 0, 2 and 8, 0. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So we'll find the gradient again. y2 is 0 minus y1 is 2 over x2 is 8 minus x1 is 0. So our m is going to be 0 minus 2, negative 2 over 8. So our m is going to be 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 8, 4, negative 1 over 4. This is how it's going to be. So when we apply in the formula, y minus y1 is 2 is equal to m negative 1 over 4. X minus x1 is 0. So here there is just 0. So this is going to be y minus 2 being equal to, this is negative 1 over 4x. So it's going to be y is equal to negative 1 over 4x. When these two crosses the other side, it becomes plus 2. Okay, so then we come to the equation, to the inequality. How is it? So what is shaded is the less part. So we want the opposite, which is the greater than or equal to. So we will say y is greater than or equal to this negative 1 over 4x plus 2. And this is going to be our last inequality. I hope you understand that. We go to question 22. We are now remaining with the last two questions. So question 22, it says, okay, it's clear. So question 2 says given a right angle triangle XYZ where angle Z is 90 degrees and sine X is 4 over 5. Find the value of cos X. So we have a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle makes 90 at one point. So where the 90 is angle Z. That's what the information is saying. So where 90 degrees is, this is Z. So this can be X, this can be Y. And we can say this is like this. Now they've given us sine X. The importance of this sine X is for us to identify the sides here. So they've said sine X is equal to 4 over 5. And they want us to find the value of cos X. So this is our X. So our X, when we use SOHCAHTOA says SOHCAHTOA, because this is trig, sine is equal to opposite side, which is opposite, over hypotenuse. Then cos says cos theta, even here cos theta or cos X is equal to cos under SOHCAHTOA is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse, that is cos. So that's how it goes. You need to know sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, cos is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. But here we're not dealing with tan. They've given us sine and cos. So for sine is equal to 4 over 5, sine X, so this is our X. Okay, this is our X. So if they say sine X is equal to 4 over 5, and we know that sine, the top part is the opposite side. So this is the X. What is the opposite side of this? It's this, meaning this is opposite over, because sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So this is opposite, this is hypotenuse. So the opposite is 4. So the opposite of this X, sine X is here. The opposite of this is this. So this is 4. The opposite 4. Then opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. The hypotenuse has what? 5. The hypotenuse is the longest part. So the longest line. This has what? 5. Okay. So now they want us to find what? They want us to find cos X, and cos X is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So we need to know the adjacent. So this right angle triangle of X, opposite hypotenuse, adjacent is this one. We don't know this. How are we going to know this? Well, we use Pythagoras theorem. This is the what? This is the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse, which is the longest side. The concept is the longest side, which is xy squared, is equal to, you add these two shorter sides. That is what Pythagoras theorem says. So you add xz squared plus zy squared, you square everything. This is Pythagoras theorem. So the longest part, the hypotenuse, is equal to this squared plus this squared. So the longest side here, the hypotenuse, is 5 squared is equal to xz squared. That's the one we are looking for. Xz squared plus zy squared. Zy squared is what? Is 4. So 4 squared. So this is 25 is equal to xz squared minus plus 4 squared is 16. Okay, that's it. Then we can take this to the other side. So we are going to have 25 minus 16. When it crosses, it becomes negative, is equal to xz squared. So 25 minus 16 is 9, which is equal to xz squared. So we can introduce the square roots. So we're going to have our xz as square root of 9 is 3. So that is our adjacent side there. It is what? It is 3. So this is 3. So now we can find cos x, because cos under SOHCAHTOA is adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's going to be cos x is equal to, adjacent we found 3 over hypotenuse we had 5 here. So 5. So 3 over 5, that is our cos x. Let's go to the next one. So the next says the diagram below shows a sketch of a graph which meets the x-axis at -4 and 2. So this graph, this is -4, this is 2. Then first question says find the coordinates, find the equation of the graph. So for you to find the equation of the graph, what do? Here is what you do. Firstly, you will take this, you take the coordinates where it is cutting the x-axis, because for this we use the formula y is equal to x plus a, x plus b, where a and b are the values of what? X. So this is -4. We have -4, and it is also cutting at +2. So these are the values. So we will use this formula. So it will be y is equal to x. So what? How do we do? The concept is simple. You get these same values where it is cutting, then you change the signs and then you put them here. So since this was -4, it will be positive, so it will be +4. Then x, since this was +2, it will be -2. So you change the signs. That's the concept. When you apply in the formula, you change the signs, you expand this. So this is going to be y is equal to, this will be x times, so this will, when you are expanding, this will multiply with everything here. This will also multiply with everything. So each, this will multiply with everything, also this with everything. So we'll start with this x times x. So we are going to have x squared. Then x times -2. We are going to have -2x. Then we are done with x. We come to 4. 4 times x, we'll have +4x. Then we'll say 4 times -2, you have -8. Okay, then we can reduce this. Y is equal to x squared will be like this, -2x plus 4x. So when the signs are different here is what you do. When the signs are different, you subtract. Okay, you subtract, then you get the sign from the bigger number. So since here we are dealing with -2 plus 4, okay, because this is -2x plus 4, same as -2 plus 4. So when you are dealing with -2 plus 4, the signs are different. This is negative, this is positive. This is what you do. You subtract the numbers, then you get the sign from the positive. So you just say 4 minus 2, it will give you 2. Then what is the sign of the bigger number. It is positive, so this will be positive 2. That's what you do. If it was same like negative 2 minus negative 4, you add its opposite. You add but you still get the sign from the bigger number. So you add them. It would be 2 plus 4. It would have been 6, and the bigger number is negative, so it will be negative 6. That's the concept. So here we are going to have positive what? 2x minus 8, and this is our equation of the graph. Okay, for B, find the coordinates of the turning points. So for B, the coordinates of the turning points, first we find x, because the coordinates has x and y. For x, the formula is, so this is our B, x is equal to negative b over 2a, where b and a, you get them from the equation. So if your equation is wrong, even this one, you get it wrong. So x is equal to negative b. A is the coefficient of x squared. So here the coefficient is 1, so that's a. B is the coefficient of x, okay, x without square, so the coefficient is 2, so this is b, and this is our c. So in this case, only a and b are needed, so it's negative b. B is what? B is 2 here. This is our b, the coefficient of x. So negative 2 over 2a. What is our a? A is 1, the coefficient of x squared. So here it's 1. So this will be 2, even here it will be 2. 1 by 2 multiplied by 2 is 2. So negative 2 divided by 2, that is negative 1. So this is our x. Then we need to find the y. By finding y, we get the value of x and we put it in the original equation. So this is our original equation. So we say y is equal to, where there is x we place negative 1 squared plus 2, where there is x negative 1 minus 8. So this is going to be y is equal to negative 1 squared, that is positive 1. Then this is positive 2 times negative 1, that is minus 2, then minus 8. So y is equal to, so negative 2 minus 8, this is 1 minus what? Negative 2 minus 8, this is minus 10. So y is equal to 1 minus 10, that is negative 9. So these are the values. So you say turning point, the coordinates of turning point. Therefore the coordinates of turning points are, you start with x negative 1, comma, negative 9. So this is the final answer for B. Hope you get that one. We go to the last question now. So this is the speed time graph. So the question says, the diagram below shows a speed time graph of a particle. Okay, so the particle started off from rest and accelerated uniformly for 10 seconds. It then traveled at a constant speed for 20 seconds and then decelerated to rest. Okay, so this particle started from rest, traveled for 10 seconds to V, traveled again for 20 seconds, then it came to rest. So first question says, find the speed V the particle reached if the acceleration was 2 meters per square second in the first 10 seconds. So they want us to find V in the first 10 seconds if the acceleration was what? 2. So we use the formula for acceleration since the acceleration is given. So we are going to say acceleration is equal to V minus U over T, because that's the formula. So acceleration is going to be, where is our V? Our V is our final what? Velocity. Actually here we'll say, since acceleration is given, we'll put 2 here because we have the acceleration here. Then our V is the one we are looking for, minus it started from rest. Rest means it started 0. So the initial velocity is 0. Okay, so U is the initial velocity, V is the final velocity. Initial velocity where it started from. when they say it started from rest, like they said in the question, it started from rest, it means the initial velocity is 0 over the time they said in the first 10 seconds. So this is just 0 here. So we are going to say 1 times v, this is v. 2 times 10 is 20 meters per second. So this was the velocity. I hope you get that one. So that was A. We can go to B. Given that the total distance covered was 750 meters, find the value of t in the diagram. So they want us to find the value of t in the diagram. If this started off, if the total distance covered was 750, the concept we use, we need to find the what? The area of the shape, the total area of the shape. The total area of the shape is equal to the total distance. Okay, so what are we going to say? So if you want it to be very easy for you, just take smaller steps, as small as you can, and just add them. So if we find the area of this, we find the area of this, we find the area of this, we add them together, the total area is equal to the total what? Distance. So let's start with the first one so that you don't confuse things here. So the first one is a triangle. So this will be distance 1, x1, x represents distance. Going to be, what is the area of the triangle? Is half BH. So area of the triangle is half. Breadth is this one, 10, times height, v here, we answered 20. So this is 2 can reduce with 10 here. 10 divided by 2, this is 5. So here we have 5 times 20, which is 100 meters. That is distance 1 for the first. Then we find the distance for this also. So we use the area for this rectangle. So distance 2, which is area for rectangle, is equal to, area for rectangle is L squared, or L times L. That is for a square. For a rectangle is L times B. Yeah, length times breadth. So distance 2 is equal to, length is from 10 to 30. So you say 30 minus 10, that is 20, times breadth here. So this is 20 also. So distance 2 is equal to, you say 20 by multiplied by what? 20. So that is 400 meters. That is distance 2. Distance 3 now, it's another triangle. So you say distance 3 is equal to half BH. So half multiplied by breadth. This is our breadth. So our breadth now becomes t minus 30, because we have t here which we don't know. Actually, that's the one we are finding. So the distance here is t minus 30, just like here we did 30 minus 10 to find the distance. Even here is t minus 30. So we'll keep t minus 30 just like this, since we don't know t. That's our breadth multiplied by our height, which is 20. And these two can reduce this to 10, because 2 into 20 is 10. So this 10 can multiply with t. So we're going to have 10t minus 10 times 300. 10 times 30, that is 300. So this is our x3. I hope you get that one, our distance 3. So if you want to get the total distance, it's this plus this plus this. As simple as that. So you tell them, therefore, total distance is equal to distance 1 plus distance 2 plus distance 3. So it's going to be distance 1. Let me just confirm. I think that was just like that. Yeah, so distance 1 was 100 plus distance 2 was 400 plus distance 3 was 10t minus 300. Okay, so this is our total distance, but the total distance is given in the question. See, they told us that the total distance was 750 meters, meaning where there is total distance we can put 750 meters. You get the concept. So it's going to be it will be 750 is equal to 400 plus 100 plus 400, that is 500. Then we remove the bracket, so this time this will be plus 10t minus 300. So this is gonna be 750 is equal to 500 minus 300. Yeah, 500 minus 300, that's going to be 200 plus 10t. When this comes this side, it will be, we will remain with 10t. 10t is equal to, this will come this side, so it's going to be 750 minus 200. So this will be 10t is equal to 750 minus 200. So 7t minus 200, that is 550. So our t will be over 10 over 10, so that our time t is equal to, this 0 will cancel with this, and will remain with 55 seconds. So that is our time t, 55 seconds. I hope you get that one. So t here is what? It's 55 seconds. Then question 3 says, question C, what was the speed at 40 seconds? So if you look at the diagram, we have 30 and 55, so 40 is somewhere here. So they want the speed. This 40 is time, 40 seconds. Now the speed is this side. So at this 40, when we rise somewhere here, the speed that is here, okay, the speed that is here. So what we do, we get this thing alone, we put it on a larger scale so that we deal with it well. So we say, I get this triangle, the last one, because that's the one I'm going to use. Then I do like this. So this is just this bigger triangle. So I have 30 here, so this will be 30. I have 55 here, we've answered. So if your answer is wrong, even this one you get it wrong. And we have our 40 somewhere. This, our total was what? Was 20, our speed here. So this 40 of ours is ending somewhere here. So we want this speed here, and we can call this x, okay, or n later, doesn't matter. So we'll use similarities and congruence here, because when you look at this, we have two similar triangles. We have this bigger one, this, and this smaller one. They both have what? This has this height, it has, the smaller one has this. It has this length, the smaller one has this. It has this length, the smaller one has this. So similarities and congruence, they are similar triangles but different in sizes. Only the sizes are different. So we want to find x, that is our speed here. Okay, so we'll say, we'll use ratios now. We'll get the height of the bigger over the length of the bigger. Then we equate to the height of the smaller over the length of the smaller triangle. So what is the height of the bigger? The height of the bigger triangle is from here, 0 to 20, over the length. The length now is what? Is 55 minus what? Minus 30. Okay, so it is 55 minus 30, which is 25. So 55 minus 30 is 25. So this is the height of the bigger over the length of the bigger. So height is 20, length is 25. Then we equate to the smaller, the height of the smaller, which is the speed now, which is x, the one we are looking for, over the length of the smaller one. The length of the smaller one now is from 55 to what? From 40 to 55. So you say 55 minus 40, that is 15. So you say over x. 25 times x, that is 25, x being equal to 20 times 15. So you say 20 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 15. So 25x is equal to, what is 20 multiplied by 15? So 20 multiplied by 15 is 300 over 25 over 25. Our x is going to be, what is 300 divided by 25? Yeah, so 300 divided by 25, that is 12. So this will be meters per second, and that is going to be our speed. You just tell them, therefore the speed in the first 40 seconds is equal to 12 meters per second. So this was 2018 paper 1 GCE. We've answered the full question. This was the paper, okay, the full question from question 1 up until the last question. So don't forget to do what? To subscribe, and God bless you. Wishing you all the best.